open Twitch so I can see things. I did not update our thingy madoodle because I'm great at this. It's fine.
Oh.
Doing it live. Quite literally. It's fine.
Watch us. There we go.
I can't spell. Oh my god. Spell correctly. Done. There we go. Updated that because I am great at this. Okay. Now we have a couple of moments to just figure ourselves out here. I'm a little tired. In case you can't tell. But I'll be okay. Why?
This is the... Oh, go ahead.
No, you know how you scroll over, like, where the weather is at the bottom of your screen and it'll pop up an entire, like, cadre of, like, news? I didn't realize I did that. So there's just this whole, like, block of text and pictures that blocked my view, and I was like, well, oops. Also, my cats are trying to get into my room, and so every now and then there's just the sound of them pawing at the door. So I'm like,
please, you must be in there. Father won't let us in either.
No, he's also recording, so his door is also shut, so they are very concerned. Mother, are you all right? I'm fine. Stop acting like Jack in The Shining.
Decided our cats have like little Victorian voices. So Morpheus is always like, Mother, the bathroom door was closed. I was ever so concerned you fell in the toilet. You would drown if I wasn't there to watch you.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Now all cats in my head have little sad Victorian voices.
The saddest of Victorian little voices.
So concerned.
So yeah, I don't know if my microphone will pick up on it, but every once in a while, if you hear just like the rattling of a door, it's just...
I haven't heard it yet, so
it's just them trying to get in. It's kind of like, I know it's them, but if I didn't have cats, that'd be very creepy, because the door is just like being pushed in every now and then, like rattle, rattle, rattle. Like,
I'm gonna turn my audio down so I can be more. I know it won't pick up on the mic. I finally got my speakers working.
yay!
They are turned away from the monitors, so you don't see flashy lights, and hopefully the mic will not pick it up.
All right. I totally forgot to load in. Load in? It's gonna be weird tonight. I don't know where these verbs and nouns are coming from. I forgot to fill in the what are you anticipating right now. So let me just do that real quick and then we can get a going. And okay. So I'll give it just a moment of silence and then I'll get it going. Did I remember to fill in this thing? No, I did not because I am so good at this. Hang on. Okay. Hello and welcome to episode 228 of Geek Girls, the Geek Girls podcast supported primarily by our patrons. You can find us at patreon.com/grills. I'm Linda and I'm joined by my co-host, Ray. Let's try that hello again. I didn't hear you.
Sorry.
Okay. It seems to be slightly cutting you off at the beginning of things.
I just flipped off my camera. It's fine.
That's fine. It's fine. So today's topic is planned obsolescence, which is frustrating. We're going along with another frustrating episode topic today, so that'll be fun. Get ready for some ranting and learning about the light bulb cartel. Not even kidding. So how have you been and what have you been up to, Ray?
Good. So we started watching Our Flag Means Death, which is absolutely delightful. I love it. It's great. And a certain sexy pirate has just been introduced. I'm only on like episodes 3 or 4. So there were already a few sexy pirates. Now we got a new sexy pirate, and I'm just like, you are the one that hits all my buttons. Ed is best. I love Ed. So, you know, but it's really good. I'm very excited. I'm having a great time watching it, and I don't think it's a spoiler if I say the queer subtext is not subtext and is just very obviously text. Hooray.
Hooray.
Like, we just call it the Gay Pirate Show. It's fantastic. I love it. Let's see. I finally finished a cover piece for my husband that I've been working on since February. So he is going to use that for his PDF of a... My brain just died. Module? Scenario?
Oh, like
mini
for...
game?
A mini, like a, what do they call them in D&D? They've got, I think it is a module.
Yeah, so one of those.
Yeah.
For Trinity, so he's working on that part now that I finally have, he's had the text done. So I just got the cover art done. He did the graphic design.
It looks so good.
I'm just, it could be better, but I'm done. Just done. Had to redo it twice. I'm done. I haven't done digital in a while, and I honestly forgot so many things, and it wasn't until Saturday night, and I'm like, can't I copy this layer so I can mess around on the other one without and then I can just copy the shape that oh my god, I can. Why was I drawing everything by hand? In all these layers.
That's dedication.
Dedication, or just forgot how to do digital art. And then, since I finally got that done, I can guilt-free actually play around on Steam again, because I've been trying not to do any other art or any other video games until I get that done. So I finally got to boot up Veroid Studio, which they updated from beta to the official version in November of last year. I just haven't played around with it. So now I am, because my computer died and I lost all my files, I'm having to remake the V2 models. And it's nice. It's a little slow, because it's more like a pick screw, like a doll design game. Mm-hmm. So you have like sliders so you can change everything that you need. You still have the option to go in and like upload if you saved any like files that you had previously made for clothes or glasses or anything, or hair textures. You can still do that, and you can still go in and add like bones. I think I haven't actually played with the hair. I know you can still alter the hair structures. But I'm still fussing with it. So I just started to try and make my D&D character because she's an adorable gnome and I am not. And it's a virtual game, so like we all play over
Zoom?
Discord.
Discord.
I'm sorry,
Okay. there's a couple of them. It's Zoom, Discord,
Zoom
a few
actually is
others.
yeah, it's video streaming, but I don't look like my character, so this way I can have my VTuber avatar on, and they'll see Arachne instead of me. And if it goes well, I kind of want to make one for the rest of the game, but we will see how it goes. I haven't finished Arachne yet. I am at the clothes fiddling part. They have some much like your little doll design games. There are some preloaded, but and you can edit from those. But I am still gonna have to redo entire sections to make something more D&D fantasy appropriate. So
it's like when you're playing on a Hero Forge. You just
yeah, it's actually a lot like that with the sliders and everything. So like they added cat ears and glasses now. So instead of like before, you didn't have that as an option. So if you wanted glasses, you had to go to the hair layer, add a texture for the hair, and basically add an entire hair layer for your glasses. They just hovered like bangs, like if they were really long bangs in front of your character's face. It was very weird. And same with like trying to do like fantasy ears, they would only be where your ears are, from like your eyes to your jaw, not at the top of your head for cute little cat ears, for example. So if I get all this done, I do still want to do that VTuber episode.
Yeah.
With us having little VTuber avatars. It has been in my head for a year now, and I'm like, oh, it'd be fun, especially with like Ember. Ember might have more info since one of the contestants on America's Next Top Podcaster is a VTuber too.
Yeah.
So, also episode 2 of America's Next Top Podcaster.
Do the thing.
Out for you to listen to.
Go.
And you could also listen to the 3 different teams and their submissions that they had to do through the website, which is super cool. Go Ember!
So, go do the thing.
Cheering you on. And yeah, aside from that, there's no Real House drama this time because we didn't. We had 5 that we're gonna go see, and 2 basically went off the market.
Yeah.
So then we're down to 3. One of them was a complete crap hole, which we kind of knew, but the pictures didn't look so bad. So I'm like, okay, how much sweat equity, which is their favorite code word for fixer-upper, without being very blatant about it being a fixer-upper. Other one is investors only. How bad it was. It was pretty bad. Like, significant roof gutter damage, holes in the wall, holes in the door frame to the front door, like entire cabinets and drawers missing. And that's as far as we went. We went into the living room and the kitchen and it just turned right around and left.
And it's like, nope.
The other one was an open house, so there was so much parking on this tiny little street. There were at least 20 cars. We literally, like, the only thing we were there for is to see if the bonus room was big enough to be a studio. So we immediately went to that room, measured it, did not work, left.
It's fair. You've got expectations for this place you're going to move into.
That's the big thing, is we need a studio space. So, and then the third one, it was cute, it was awesome, but again, there was no studio space. Like, I really liked that one. It was adorable, but I was hoping the master bedroom would be big enough, or the loft space would work, and they just weren't.
Yeah.
So. And it was also really close to like top budget, so the only place that would have worked was the garage, but then we would have had to park on the street, which isn't the end of the world, but we would still then have to change the garage to be a studio. We would need flooring and like fix the garage door wall.
You'd like drywall and yeah.
Way too much. Like we even like have already decided we get one project a year for the house whenever we find it.
Mm-hmm.
One a year. That's it.
Yeah,
We're not doing any of this like constant. That way, in theory, if there is something wrong with the house, that can be the project. Or, if something goes wrong and there's a hole, God forbid, there's a hole in the roof or the water heater explodes or something, it will have that money away for the one project a year.
Yeah.
We tend to that.
It's the difference between painting and putting up drywall.
Yeah, I can paint. I haven't put up drywall in forever. I don't think I remember how, really.
I remember, but again, you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's not on the list of things that is, that sounds like fun.
No, we want to be able to just move into the place. We don't want to have to renovate the place because you're supposed to have a whole different loan for renovation.
Yes.
You just want to be able to move in and live. That's been my time. How's yours been?
I've been making more octopi. I've got some colorful ones. Another black and white one. I haven't put the eyes on that yet. But my crowning achievement for this week is I have made a reversible octopus. So this side's the grumpy side. Matthew, my husband, said that it could be both a frowny face and also a mustache.
It could. It also looks like a mustache.
And then, when you're feeling not grumpy, you just flip-averse it, and you tuck the tentacles of the gray side in as you're stuffing, because the tentacles of the inside octopus become the stuffing of the outside octopus, and you have a little happy dude.
I like these also yellow.
Yes,
Like
the happy side is yellow. So I'm thinking if I can get more of this big fluffy yarn in different colors, I could make like a red and blue one, or like, kind of not complementary. Come on, color theory. That's not opposing. Opposing is what we're going with because that's not the right word, but it's what I can think of. Complementary is when they're like one off from each other. Red and it's like the opposites of each other is like red and green and
yeah, like I understand what you're saying. I was just like I also cannot think of the word at the moment, and it's really frustrating because I had to do like multiple art projects about it.
Contrasting. I remembered it.
Contrasting.
Contrast colors, because it was two C's. It's complementary is when they're like one off from each other or two off from each other, and then contrasting is when they're opposite on the color wheel. Hey, you learned something new, everybody, because I remembered what it was. My college courses were a long time ago.
Yes, your college courses kicked in. My art college did not kick in.
Anyway, while I was making this adorable little thing, actually, quite literally while I was making it, I rewatched Encanto again, just because I can. And then I rewatched Inside Out, which is an old favorite of mine. It's on that list of, like, movies I will always say yes to. It's not a huge list, but, like, Inside Out, Spirited Away, Coraline, all of those are movies that if somebody's like, hey, do you want to watch X, I will always say yes. Just I forgot what a masterpiece Inside Out is. I love it so much. And again,
I need to watch myself.
Again with the not even realization, because I figured this out on a couple rewatches ago, but man, Joy is kind of a sociopath until she learns empathy. Woo! But that's the point. That's the point, is you grow up, you learn empathy, and learn how to be a person. But yeah, it's just, because I've been trying to make this reversible octopus for a while, and I just, for some reason, like, I hadn't quite got down, like, it turned out I needed to shorten the tentacles, use really big yarn, and fiddle with the pattern, and then I finally got it to work. So, yay! Oh, and for the folks that are, like, either watching or with us live, you might notice I have a pair of kitty cat headphones again, but not the pair I used to have, because my mother is a darling and listened to the last episode, heard that my kitty cat headphones had died, and bought me a new pair. She was very sweet.
Now they're pretty in pink.
Now they come in pink, yes. I have graduated, moved, not even, I don't know. They used to be black and purple, they are now pink and gray, so there you go. It goes pretty well with my blonde hair, I would think. Yeah. Alright. Enough fiddling in the camera. Alright, so yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. We had, oh, I forgot to write this down, because when I made the notes, I didn't think about it. I had a critter encounter this weekend.
Okay.
So my husband and I were going over to, help over at my mother-in-law's house, because, you know, his father just passed away, so she's in this giant house all by herself, and we're gonna help her, like, fix it up. So one of the projects that we had is they've got a couple of these, like, half, like, not finished spaces upstairs that are, like, storage areas. So they're on the edges of the house, so it's like one wall is straight, and then there's a half wall with the slanting roof, and it's got all of the exposed insulation. And a bunch of the insulation started, like, falling down, which explains why that house has always been so damn cold.
Definitely do it.
So, we basically went and got, there are these, like, long, really thick wires that you basically jam in between the joists and then use tension to keep the insulation from falling out, even, like, from, it just tensions them into place. So we basically got, like, 3 boxes of these thick ass wires. And we're sitting there and we're putting the insulation back up so that it actually, you know, insulates the house. We'd found some evidence of some animal residents. Like, there was a bunch of acorn husks, and I found a spot that looked like a squirrel had punched its head through, like, some of the insulation. It's just, it was like, behind the insulation in some places there was, like, this, like, I almost want to call it, like, not even craft, like, it looked like craft foam. But it was, like, and it, literally, there was a hole with pieces hanging off of it that looked like a squirrel had punched its head through there. And I was just like, all right, there was something here at some point. But we get the big main space, and then there's 2, like, smaller closets that are these kind of same, not finished, you know, spaces. So my husband goes downstairs to get some, like, a hammer and some nails, because there was a couple of boards that looked like they'd been jiggled loose when they replaced the roof. So we're just gonna, like, whack them back into place and then nail them down so they don't move. And so I'm in this small, enclosed little closet area.
Oh no.
Putting these wires, like, jamming them into place and putting the insulation back up. And I see that there's a different type of insulation that they put in the top roof space. It's basically just, like, foamy kind of particles that they just blow up there with, like the opposite of a vacuum cleaner. like a leaf blower. They just blow all of that up there to make sure it's insulated. And I see bits of this that are, like, on the stuff that's in this closet, and I'm like, oh no. There's been an animal up in the roof space that's kicked it out. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll tell Dana she can, or tell my mother-in-law she can call someone in here and get it checked out. 2 seconds later, I am jamming one of the bar pieces into place, and out of the insulation pops a face. And then the rest of the chipmunk comes out and scrambles up into the attic space. And when I tell you, I made a sound that would make a dog, like, run away. It was so high-pitched.
Chipmunk?
Oh my god. And I was just like, I fumbled out and slammed the door, and I was just like, ah! My heart was going so fast, and I was just like, it was a chipmunk. What's wrong with me? It's just because I was not expecting. Just boop. Just
that chipmunk. It could have been like a deadly chipmunk. You don't know.
It was as scared of me as I was of it. It saw me and was like, "What are you doing in my living room, lady?"
It's my house. I've been here for years. Winters. Maybe one winter, but it's chipmunk. I'm not sure.
Yep. Definitely something in there. I saw it. I'm surprised the entire house didn't hear me, but there was my mother-in-law was watching a movie downstairs, and Matthew was in the garage, so he came back up, and I was like, well, there's definitely animal activity.
It actually isn't like nesting. Maybe it's just like a temporary moved in over the winter. We had squirrels that decided to set up home and like have baby squirrels, and then we had to wait for the baby squirrels to be old enough to leave before we could like get somebody to fill up that hole so they couldn't come back and get in there.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was definitely a full-grown chipmunk, but there was a little like, you could see where he pushed the installation out, and it's just like boop. Anyway, that was my critter story. So now we'll go ahead and get into our discussion topic, which is planned obsolescence. So I will give you, in case you don't know what it is, whoops.
Planned obsolescence.
Yes. The definition of planned obsolescence is a policy of planning or designing a product with an artificially limited useful life or a purposefully frail design so that it becomes obsolete after a certain predetermined period of time upon which it decrementally functions or suddenly ceases to function, or might be perceived as unfashionable. So, obviously...
Why would you ever do this?
Why would you do this? Obviously, this is a big thing with iPhones. I don't know if it's as big with like Androids, but it's a big thing with iPhones because they can basically, when they do those updates, they can put whatever they want in those updates. And if that update says this is gonna sound like conspiracy theory shit, but they can literally put into an update into an iPhone that after a certain point of time, like this iPhone will stop working so well. Like they can do that. They can put that into an update. And so it's basically, they're trying to create long-term sales from people because, they're reducing time between a repeat purchase. With phones, it's, it's a fine line with a lot of phones because they're making new models all the time, so you're kind of encouraged after a while to, get the newest model because it'll be faster, it'll be sleeker, it's got all the new bells and whistles. But the folks that don't care, the ones that have, are hanging on to their same phone for years and years, there are ways that they can, push you into getting a new one. Like, the battery doesn't last anymore. That was one of the big problems with my phone when I recently upgraded, is my battery lasted maybe 8 hours. So my new battery lasts like 17. So,
And it's one of those things, if you crack it, well, that voids the warranty.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
somebody else work on it that's not Apple, or
we'll get into right to repair in a minute.
but no, I understand because there is a point where okay, you have to update. So like, God, it was a while ago now. I think it was in the mid aughts, late aughts, where we had to get everybody to give up your antenna and buy this different kind of antenna because we were changing the way the signals were being sent and communicating. So if you still wanted your free TV, you had to upgrade to this new antenna. And then, like previously, we've also had like the 2G to 3G upgrade, the CDMA sunset. Everybody should now currently probably be on LTE at the minimum or the 4G equivalent.
Yeah.
And eventually, yes, we will have to go to 5G. And it's just that again is like a progression level. But that is your phone companies are usually very diligent about making sure that you have to update multiple times before we get to those hard you have to upgrade points, especially with cell phones because of
Mm-hmm.
the battery delay. Oh, this update, well, because this phone is older and now uses so much more processing, which drains the battery faster. So if you were just updated to a new phone, yeah.
Yeah. And this kind of started back, I mean, I don't know if it started back as early as like the actual, Industrial Revolution, but at least in the 1920s, they actually started this up with cars, with the automobile market, because in the 20s, it started reaching a saturation point where the cars were cheap enough that everybody could have one. And so everybody that could have one had one, and there was no impetus for them to buy more. So that's when they came up with the model year design. So you would have a model of this year, which is the upgraded version of the car. That's why you have cars that are like, I've got a 2020, I've got, a 2012. That's where it came from, is this kind of planned obsolescence in the car industry, specifically like General Motors, because they were like, well, we can't sell any more cars if everybody has a car, so let's make this new one so that the old ones look crappy. And then they'll all want to buy a new one. It even, one that was fascinating to me, actually, is the light bulb cartel. So
I need to know more context for light bulb cartel.
okay. It's actually called the Phoebus cartel. So, it was an oligopoly, which is a bunch of it's a market or industry structure that's dominated by a group of large sellers. So, they were the ones that controlled the manufacture of incandescent light bulbs. So I don't know if you're aware, but there is a light bulb in, I want to say it's like California. Actually, let me look it up real quick. But it's called the Centennial light bulb because it has been lit for a century. Centennial.
Guinness Book of World Records. Ripley's Believe It or Not and General Electric have all noted this bulb for its longevity.
It is California. Wow. It's in California in a fire station. It's on its 120th year of illumination. So
30-watt or 60-watt bulb, but it is now very dim, emitting about a 4-watt nightlight.
Yep. But it's still lit.
Really cool.
It's very cool. So what happened is these folks that were in the manufacture and sale of light bulbs, they met in Geneva in 1925 and founded the Phoebus cartel. It's based itself in Switzerland, Um,
Call them cartel right off the bat.
yeah. Well, I'm sorry. So sorry. It was called the Phoebus Incorporated Industrial Company for the Development of Lighting.
Okay.
They didn't actually call themselves a cartel, but that's
Okay.
basically what they were. They intended the cartel to last for 30 years. And basically, it was Osram Phillips, Tungsram, Associated Electrical Industries, Compagnies de Lamps, which is the one in France, and International General Electric, and the GE overseas. And they all decided to make light bulbs less efficient so that they all could keep making money. Now, to be fair, it was well, to be fair, it was kind of you know, set out as they were lowering operational costs and then to standardize the life expectancy of light bulbs to like 1,000 hours down from 2,500 hours. And then that would have been okay if they had lowered the light bulb price, but they didn't. They raised it. They raised the price of light bulbs for a shorter lifespan. They tested their bulbs and fined manufacturers for bulbs that lasted more than 1,000 hours.
That's insane.
Yep.
I mean, again, I get it. If they want these to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, God, but
you know what stopped them?
What?
World War II. 1939. They disbanded. Because a few of these companies were on different sides of the war. Yeah. But they basically, like, that is planned obsolescence because they wanted to keep selling light bulbs. But this was an extreme version because they made this oligopoly, which is a fun word to say, by the way. So
basically, they decided, let's use less efficient products, less efficient material to make our product, so it has to be replaced sooner, and then let's increase the price and tell people it's the newest model, and that's why the price has gone up. And so, like, they're guaranteed to have to replace it, like every 1,000 hours or less?
Every 1,000 hours, yep.
Oy vey.
Oy vey. And
it's frustrating. Like, and isn't there also like a version where it's basically only a select people, like the McDonald's ice cream machines, like only a select one company is allowed to go in and fix it?
Yes.
You can't just fix it as a franchise owner. You have to contact this one company, and that's why they're always down.
That's why they're always down, is because there is one company that McDonald's contracts to fix their ice cream machines, and you cannot fix it yourself. Which actually dovetails quite nicely again into right to repair.
I helped.
You helped. That was a great segue. So right to repair is it's a proposed legislation that is, I think, being worked on currently. That would provide, it says, it provides practical means for electronics equipment owners to repair their devices. This is specifically for the electronics. I don't know if there's like one specifically for like mechanical or what, but this is the one for electronics. So basically the ones dealing with the iPhones. Because the whole thing with, we were talking earlier about the iPhones is if you try and crack open your iPhone to replace the battery, well, there goes your warranty. If you still have a warranty, which not everybody does. And a lot of the places, this is something else that happens, is if you take in an old iPhone to get repaired, they will give you, like if you take it into an Apple store, they'll give you a inflated quote. Like, it's like, yeah, it'll be, $800 in 2 weeks to fix this. Why don't you just buy a new one?
Or on a special right now, and you can renew your contract for another 2 years, and we'll give it to you for like 100 or 300.
Yeah. And I mean, that's fine if you want to, if you're going to like your phone store, the AT&T store, if you're looking to be like, all right, it's time to renew the contract and get new phones. If that's what you want to do, that's great. But the folks that don't, they're kind of screwed.
It's like I lose my phone for 2 weeks and have to shell out this incredible amount of money, or
Get a new one right there.
I have to get a new one right now and sign up for like a renewed contract. But the guy will also like do my SIM card swap for me or whatever.
Yeah. So it says repair is legal under copyright law and patent law. However, owners and independent technicians are often unable to make their own repairs because of manufacturer limitations on access to repair materials such as parts, tools, diagnostics, documentation, and firmware, which is why it's so difficult to get your iPhone repaired by a third party, because they have, they might have the tools, but maybe they don't know how your iPhone expressly works because they don't have like the schematics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there are people that can figure that out. They're tech geniuses all over the place, but it's not technically illegal. However, there are measures have been put into place by these manufacturers to make it very difficult. And so that's what this legislation is looking into, is to, to require fair and reasonable contracts, and have it so that this is available to everyone so they can repair their own things if they want, instead of having to take it to a specialist or somebody who's going to quote them $1,000.
Kind of makes me think of like the difference between taking your car to your dealership or taking your car to like
a body shop. Yeah,
the body shop, the mechanic down the road. Yeah, it's like you want to have that option. That seems like that would just be like fair for the consumer to have.
Mm-hmm. So it'll make things easier, it'll make things cheaper. Of course, the whole point of these manufacturers is to make money, so they're not into it, but they're trying to get it, I mean, it's got it on here is, factors that make independent repair more difficult. One is product design, which is what I said. The other is part pairing, because getting parts for these, this is try that again. Getting parts for these very expensive or, unique. I don't think iPhone's really unique anymore, but whatever. It's very difficult. And it's all proprietary.
Before supply chain issues.
Stupid. I was never so angry as when it was the iPhone before this one. Mm-hmm. And they got rid of the headphone jack.
Oh yeah.
And so all you had left was the lightning plug. And so I had to like get an extra little like thing, because I didn't have Bluetooth headphones at the time. I didn't get those till years later. But I had to get an extra like adapter for the lightning plug to use my headphones, and I couldn't use my headphones and charge my phone at the same time. I was so mad. And they do it on purpose. Like they've just changed it again too. Like you can still use your old iPhone chargers, but there's new chargers now with like I think like a C or whatever it is. And sorry, what?
USB-C charger or
something like that. Like it's a different size plug. So if you went to go buy a new iPhone charge cord, it's not gonna fit into those like wall socket things anymore. And I'm just like, why? It was USB. It was fine. Why would you do this?
Yeah, overall, I find like planned obsolescence really annoying. Because it just makes me think of like lost technology as well. Like stuff that we used to have in the past that for whatever reason we don't have anymore. We don't know how they did it really. We have an idea like
Mm-hmm.
how how certain things were done. Damascus steel is a big one. Like nobody
Yeah.
really knows the recipe for that anymore. Nobody really got a chance to write it down. I just like in my head it's just cuz like one guy was like, this is my recipe. No one else will have it. And
No
I
one
will
else.
have a monopoly on this. And it's just, it's frustrating. Should
Yeah, and
knowledge should
it's
be free.
yeah, it's gonna continue to be a thing. So, like I said, they're in. They're still doing right to repair stuff now. This I think this goes back as like far as 2010. Um, yeah, it says like the current updates. Apple announced in November 2021 it would be allowing consumers to order parts to make repairs on Apple products, initially with iPhone 12, 13 devices, but eventually rolling out to include Mac computers. Service will be available early next year in the US and expand to additional countries through 2022. Um, and then Samsung announced a partnership with iFixit in March, which aim to take efforts in sustainability. Which that's another thing. Planned obsolescence creates a lot of garbage. A lot of trash. Like, my god.
Especially electronic trash.
Yes.
Like, and it's, you can't just like put that phone in the trash can.
I still have I have both of my old iPhones. They're completely wiped. I could probably give them to maybe now I can give them to somebody, although this says you can only do iPhone 12 and 13. But yeah, I don't know.
Like when I upgraded, I have ones before we switched to Google Fee. But they gave you an option to send it back, and you usually got like maybe $5 for the old phone.
Mm-hmm.
But like I still have God, I think it's on the 3G, so I wouldn't even be able to like give it to anybody anymore since
Yeah.
that is sunsetting. So
I mean, hell, maybe for the old iPhones, the best thing to do is like take them apart and melt down the the metals inside of it, the precious metals.
like there is electronic recycling for a reason.
Yeah.
It's because like not all parts are equal, and there are some parts that maybe you don't want to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
Like a fire alarm. You don't want to just take those apart.
No, don't do that. Don't
Radioactive.
don't do that. Oh, that just reminds me of when my catalytic converter got stolen. Because that was a thing. Apparently, it's still a thing, I think. But like, CRVs are so high, like tall, and there was a time when they didn't bolt on the catalytic converters; it just screwed on. So they got stolen. The catalytic converters got stolen off of CRV so often that when mine got stolen and I took it to the repair shop, they had it in stock. And they get stolen because they've got precious metals in them. They got like copper and platinum. They've got like platinum in them to make them work. But anyway, that was a weird aside. But
so in regards to specifically phones.
Yes.
For rights to repair.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm sure there's other right to repair movement things for other things besides electronics. I just thought that's kind of the one that is like the easiest to see, because smartphones are relatively a relatively young development in cars too, but we've had cars since like the 1910s, and they started getting their planned obsolescence, like I said, in the 20s. So I'm not surprised that this happened with the smartphones, but I'm glad that people are finally being like, maybe we should not do that.
So, yeah, because it looks like the other one is, like, automotive devices or, like, farm vehicles such as tractors. It's like, I feel like phones are easier to get majority of people to relate to.
Oh, well that's tractors and farm equipment is another huge problem that they're having with the planned obsolescence. Because if you think about it, if you have like a big, like, industrial sized farm, and the manufacturer of your tractor or your irrigation like system says, no, you have to replace that every 5 years or every 10 years. That's thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, that's a lot of money.
Like, not everybody knows a farmer, but most people know, if you don't have a phone, you probably know somebody who has a smartphone.
Yeah.
Too. And yeah, especially with the farm, that reminded me of the Monsanto the seeds that they had like genetically modified. So basically, you get 1 year of crop. Like, you use it once.
Yeah, and then it's gone.
And then it's gone. And even if you have never agreed to do this with Monsanto, because they're plants and they self-pollinate, if like the farm next door never had an agreement but you did, and somehow the pollen gets over there, they can get sued by Monsanto for using Monsanto seeds because the pollen just carried over on the breeze.
Yeah.
And
yeah, look that shit up. It's infuriating.
Oh Lord, I hate it so much. Mm-hmm. There have been many, many good videos and articles written about that, and oof.
Yeah, there's I think I can't remember which. Hold on, I don't want to say the wrong, but you reminded me about the farmers and not being able to repair their own equipment. They're literally like forced to like buy new.
And again, this is frustrating. It kind of goes back to like what I was complaining about in the last episode. Is like, you want us we should be self-sufficient. Like the American way, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Well, if we don't know how to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, how are we supposed to do that? Like, we should be able to exchange knowledge with each other, to empower each other, so we can make repairs, so we can find the best people who we want to make these repairs. Like, I really, really get upset at just like forced ignorance.
Yeah. It's John.
No, it's not the point.
No, it's the John Deere company, by the way. If you want,
yes, of course it is.
It's the John Deere company that is like, no, you can't repair these once you have bought them. You have to buy a new one if it breaks. So, anyway, apparently a lot of farmers are suing them right now. So that's fun.
Oh God. And oh man,
it's hard enough to be a farmer.
Yeah.
Leave them alone.
Like, help them out. They feed us. Yes, PETA.
Cattail.
My cat has jumped up on my table now.
Yep.
She apparently also has opinions.
Yes. And if you have opinions on planned obsolescence, the Phoebus cartel, the right to repair movement, you can chime in by emailing us at geekgrills@gmail.com, or you can tweet us at geekgrills. I mean, we've only kind of just touched the surface of this. This is something we could probably come back to and do more deep dives.
We could do like the episodes just on like particular companies at this point.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. So what are you most anticipating right now?
We have after the NLARP at the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
Hold on one moment.
Did you swallow cat fur? Oh dear. She'll be right back. La da 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 da.
Sorry. It didn't want to work anymore, and what the heck? And I hit the wrong button to mute.
I I mean, you did mute. You just you muted everything.
Muted everything because I hit disconnect. I am so sorry. Just cut all that. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. They got to listen to me.
So after the end is at the end of the month,
Mm-hmm.
and since I'm working the kitchen, I'm having to figure out the menu. Which I ran my tentative menu by my husband, and he's like, "I hate your lunch option. I wouldn't eat anything. Fix it." I'm like,
He's not even gonna be there.
but it's a fair point. If he says that, I'm like, okay, you're right. I should probably just do like burgers and hamburgers and sandwiches
One day we'll have high tea.
instead of high tea. Yeah,
Yes.
instead of something fancy. Like don't make it harder for yourself. You want to do barbecue for lunch for dinner, and that's hard enough.
Don't worry about it. Once I bring in my new character in a couple of games, I'll take over high tea and make it hard on myself.
So yeah, I was just trying to figure that out, and then hopefully finding more houses in our budget.
Mm-hmm.
Looking around today, there wasn't much. There wasn't much that came up over the weekend, but it was Easter weekend when we're recording this, and there wasn't much today. And like I literally got to the point where I'm like, okay, there's stuff in like 290. If we move some money around, maybe, or maybe just kind of cross our finger. Maybe we can try. And then my realtor had to be like, yeah, but the specific property that you're looking for just had one sell for $330.
Yeah.
So unless you can do $330, you're not even gonna be able to make a bid. I'm like, yeah, it's just 6 more weeks. 6 more weeks.
Stress.
How about you?
Well, I am in the process of attempting to make this little cute hedgehog. So I have this much of him done. I have his body done. I just have to put all the spines on.
Soft little spines.
Soft little spines. Right now he looks like a naked mole rat. But
He does. Little gray naked mole rat.
But eventually he will look like a hedgehog. I'm planning on putting the spines on. So the base color of this little guy is kind of a gray brown. But I'm contemplating putting the spines on in rainbow.
Cute.
So you think?
Maybe.
You think a rainbow
Yeah.
hedgehog?
If you have time, I was gonna say if you have time and you have doubts, you could do both. But I personally like the idea of a rainbow hedgehog.
I've already started making a second one. I was at work and I couldn't finish him because I couldn't stuff it, so I started making a second one. So I might do one with like brown spikes and one with rainbow. I'll probably really like the rainbow one, so maybe I'll make 2 rainbows. Because I had this idea of like, well, I've got a bunch of octopi, so I have sea friends. And now I need to make some forest friends for the craft fairs. So, sea friends and forest friends.
Hedgehogs are forbidden in Georgia, so it's like, finally I can have a hedgehog.
Hedgehog. I don't know why they're forbidden in Georgia. It sucks. Anyway.
Exotic pet rules are very weird in Georgia.
Yep. And then the other thing is I'm going to be making in-play gifts for ATE. Because we had to cancel the game that was the New Year's game, and that's a big thing for my character. So I'm making these little little bracelets. They stretch a little bit, and then I'm gonna take I have these little like quarter-sized wooden. They look like coins, but they're made of wood. And I'm gonna burn symbols into them because I have a wood burning kit. So I'm gonna burn little zodiac symbols into them and give them to the characters my posse that I hang out with at game. Be like, here you go. Happy late New Year. I wasn't here, but neither were you because game got canceled. What?
There was a massive storm and we couldn't travel.
Yes.
Something.
Storm was called COVID. Anyway. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. Is lots of crafting, like I normally do. Crafting is my happy place. So, hedgehogs and wood burning. I haven't picked up my wood burning kit in a while. But I was looking at these and I was like, I need little, like pendants that have the little animals on them. And I was looking up on Amazon and I'm like, these are okay. They're not great, but they're okay. And then I was like, wait, I have all the stuff I need to make this for free. I'm gonna do that.
Be crafty.
Yes, be crafty. All right. Remember, folks, you can always come watch us record live at twitch.tv/geekgrills on most Monday evenings. The next one will be on the 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing the origins of Easter traditions. Now, I know Easter was like just this Sunday, and maybe we should have done that this Sunday, but I felt like we needed to get the frustrating topics out of the way first, and then the last topic of the month could be the kind of, fluffy one. Although some folks there's some Easter traditions that I know I'm going to be like, why? But anyway, we'll get to that next week.
And in addition to the subs and bits that we get on Twitch, we are supported by our amazing patrons, the greatest girlfriends on the internet. You can become a patron at www.patreon.com/grills. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can sub to us for free every month on Twitch.
And another way to show your support is by leaving us a review. You can do so on any of your podcast catchers. You can check out what topics we're going to do in the next month on our schedule below on our Twitch page. And if you're a patron, you can always suggest a topic for us. We'd love to hear your ideas. So where can we find you on the interwebs?
Me on Instagram under DappleDame, and on Twitch as Ray Ino.
You can find me on Twitch and Instagram under the name madcap_misc. That's MISC. You can also check out my website at madcapm.com. And Ember can be reached at 9 of 12 on Twitter and Twitch, and on the Heresy and Hearsay podcast, and on America's Next Top Podcaster. Go listen. It's very good. So, thanks for listening, everyone. Good game. GG.
To have enjoyed this podcast.
Alrighty. Nope, that's the wrong. I always go to the wrong place.